7. Divine principles that activate the frequency of wealth. Florence Scovel Shinn. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. These ancient words hold within them the very secret of manifestation that Florence Scovel Shinn so brilliantly illuminated for humanity. When we speak of wealth, we are not merely discussing monetary riches, but the full spectrum of divine abundance that is your birthright as a child of the Most High. The frequency of wealth is not something external to you. It is the very vibration of your divine nature when aligned with universal truth. Consider this profound reality. You were never meant to struggle, lack, or live in limitation. These experiences are not punishments from God, but rather the natural consequence of thinking and speaking in opposition to your divine inheritance. Every moment you declare, "I can't afford this," or "money is hard to come by," you are literally broadcasting a frequency that repels the very abundance that seeks to flow through you. The universe operates on precise vibrational laws, and like attracts like with mathematical certainty. Florence Scovel Shinn understood that wealth consciousness is not about accumulating possessions, but about recognizing and activating the divine frequency that already exists within your spiritual DNA. When Jesus spoke of the lilies of the field, clothed more gloriously than Solomon in all his splendor, he was revealing this fundamental truth. Nature operates from a consciousness of abundance, never questioning its right to flourish. The lily does not struggle to bloom. It simply aligns with its divine blueprint and allows the creative force of the universe to express through it. Your relationship with money reveals your relationship with God. This may sound shocking, but it is an absolute spiritual truth. Money is simply crystallized energy, a medium through which divine substance flows in our material world. When you fear money, resist it, or judge it as evil, you are actually rejecting one of the ways that infinite intelligence seeks to bless you. The wealthy understand this truth, even if unconsciously. They speak of money with respect, appreciation, and expectation of its increase. The first divine principle of wealth frequency is recognition of your divine identity. You are not a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being expressing through human form. Your true identity is not bound by bank account balances, credit scores, or material possessions. You are an individualization of infinite abundance, temporarily appearing in physical form to demonstrate the creative power of divine mind. When you operate from this truth, the frequency of lack becomes impossible to maintain. I am the rich child of a loving Father, and I now claim my divine inheritance of abundance. This affirmation, when spoken with conviction and understanding, begins to dissolve the false beliefs that have kept you vibrating at the frequency of limitation. Your subconscious mind, which has been programmed by years of poverty consciousness, begins to receive new instructions. Remember, your subconscious cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you consistently affirm your divine identity as heir to infinite riches, your deeper mind accepts this as truth and begins to attract experiences that match this new self-concept. The wealthy think differently about themselves, and therefore they experience a different reality. They do not see themselves as victims of economic circumstances, but as co-creators with divine intelligence. They understand that their words are creative forces that shape their experience. This is not positive thinking or wishful fantasy. This is the recognition of a fundamental metaphysical law that governs all of creation. Your word is your wand, filled with the same creative power that spoke worlds into existence. Florence Scovel Shinn repeatedly emphasized that conditions are created by consciousness, and consciousness is most powerfully expressed through the spoken word. Every word you speak carries within it the potential to bless or curse your financial experience. This is not superstition. This is the recognition of a precise spiritual science that operates whether you believe in it or not. The universe responds to your words as commands. When you declare, "I never have enough money," you are literally commanding lack into your experience. Your subconscious mind, which controls 90% of your thoughts and actions, receives this as an instruction and works tirelessly to make it true. It will influence your decisions, opportunities you notice or ignore, and even your physical energy levels to ensure that your dominant word patterns manifest in your reality. Consider the profound difference between these two declarations. Money is scarce and hard to earn versus money flows to me easily and abundantly from expected and unexpected sources. Can you feel the different vibrational qualities of these statements? The first creates contraction, struggle, and limitation in your energy field. The second creates expansion, ease, and magnetic attraction. Your nervous system responds differently to each statement, sending different signals throughout your body and into the quantum field around you. The second divine principle is the conscious direction of your word power toward wealth creation. This requires vigilant attention to your habitual speech patterns. Most people are unconsciously sabotaging their financial success through careless words spoken throughout the day. They complain about bills, worry about expenses, and speak of money as if it were their enemy. These individuals wonder why wealth seems to elude them, not realizing that their own words are creating energetic barriers to abundance. My word is now spoken in power and love, and I command perfect financial harmony to manifest in my life. This affirmation begins to reprogram your speech patterns and, consequently, your reality. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that we must become consciously creative with our word power, speaking only those things we desire to experience. This is not about denying present circumstances, but about refusing to perpetuate them through continued negative declaration. The wealthy understand this principle intuitively. Listen to how successful people speak about money, opportunity, and their future. They use language of expansion, growth, and possibility. They speak of investments, not expenses. They discuss opportunities, not problems. They plan for abundance, not scarcity. Their words create an energetic environment that naturally attracts more wealth into their experience. Your words also program the universal subconscious, which Florence called the divine mind. When you speak affirmatively about your financial good, you are literally instructing the creative intelligence of the universe to arrange circumstances in your favor. This may manifest as new business opportunities, unexpected income, wise investment decisions, or any of countless ways that abundance seeks to reach you. The key is to maintain consistency in your declarations, regardless of present appearances. I speak the word of abundance, and substance responds to my call. Begin to understand that your voice carries the authority of your divine nature. You are not begging the universe for wealth. You are claiming what is already yours by divine right. Your words should reflect this spiritual authority, spoken with confidence and expectation of immediate response from the creative forces of life. Faith is not hope, wishful thinking, or blind belief. True faith, as Florence Scovel Shinn revealed, is the absolute knowing that spiritual laws operate with the same reliability as physical laws. When you drop a stone, you do not hope it will fall. You know it will fall because you understand gravity. Similarly, when you align your consciousness with divine principles of abundance, you know that wealth must manifest because you understand spiritual law. The third divine principle is unwavering faith in your divine supply. This means living from the consciousness that your good is already provided, even before you see physical evidence of it. Faith sees the invisible, hears the inaudible, and accomplishes the impossible because it operates from spiritual reality rather than material appearance. Your present financial situation is simply the outpicturing of yesterday's consciousness. Your today's consciousness is creating tomorrow's reality. Most people live by sight rather than faith, and therefore remain trapped in cycles of financial limitation. They look at their bank account and feel discouraged. They examine their bills and feel overwhelmed. They observe economic conditions and feel fearful. This backwards approach to manifestation ensures continued lack because it perpetuates the very consciousness that created the unwanted conditions in the first place. Faith requires you to live as if your prayers are already answered. This means acting from abundance consciousness even while current circumstances may suggest limitation. It means speaking words of prosperity while bills remain unpaid. It means maintaining inner peace and confidence even when outer conditions seem challenging. This is not denial of reality. This is recognition of a higher reality that supersedes material conditions. My faith is now perfect faith, and I demonstrate the riches of the kingdom of heaven here and now. This declaration activates the law of faith in your experience. When you truly believe in your divine inheritance of abundance, you begin to act differently. You make decisions from expansion rather than contraction. You pursue opportunities rather than avoiding risk. You invest in yourself rather than hoarding resources in fear. Faith also requires releasing the how to infinite intelligence. Many people block their good by trying to dictate the specific ways their supply should come. They limit themselves to salary increases, specific business opportunities, or inherited wealth. Divine intelligence has infinite ways to bless you that your finite mind cannot conceive. Your job is to maintain the consciousness of abundance and allow the universe to surprise you with its creativity. The wealthy demonstrate faith through their actions. They invest money they do not yet have because they believe in their ability to create more. They take calculated risks because they trust their divine guidance. They spend generously because they know that circulation creates more circulation. Their faith is demonstrated through movement, not through passive waiting for abundance to appear. I have perfect faith in God's ability and willingness to supply all my needs according to His riches in glory. This biblical truth becomes living reality when you truly embody it. God's riches are not limited by your present circumstances, your past failures, or your current understanding. Divine abundance operates from infinite resources and seeks infinite expression through you. Your faith opens the channel through which this expression can manifest. Consider how faith transforms your relationship with time regarding wealth creation. Instead of believing that abundance takes years to develop, faith knows that miraculous shifts can happen instantly when consciousness aligns with spiritual truth. Instead of accepting slow progress, faith expects accelerated manifestation when divine principles are properly applied. The fourth divine principle reveals one of the most misunderstood aspects of wealth creation: the law of circulation. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that money is like water. It must flow to remain fresh and life-giving. Hoarding money out of fear creates stagnation, while generous circulation creates abundance. This principle challenges the poverty consciousness that tells us to hold tight to what we have, revealing instead that giving and receiving are two aspects of the same universal flow. The universe operates on the principle of circulation in every aspect of creation. Your heart pumps blood throughout your body. Your lungs circulate air. The earth circulates through space around the sun. Nothing in nature hoards or holds back its gifts. The ocean gives freely to the clouds, which give freely to the earth, which gives freely to the rivers, which return freely to the ocean. This eternal circulation sustains all life, and the same principle applies to the flow of abundance through your experience. When you give generously, you demonstrate to your subconscious mind that you have more than enough. This creates a consciousness of abundance that attracts more good into your life. Conversely, when you hoard money out of fear, you send a message to your deeper mind that resources are scarce, and it responds by creating experiences that confirm this belief. Your giving patterns reveal your true beliefs about abundance and scarcity. As I give, so I receive, and my supply is inexhaustible. This spiritual law operates with mathematical precision. When you give from the consciousness of abundance, you create a vacuum that must be filled by the universe's inexhaustible supply. However, giving from fear or obligation does not activate this law because the consciousness behind the action determines the result. True giving springs from joy, love, and the recognition of infinite supply. The wealthy understand circulation instinctively. They invest in businesses, donate to causes, and spend money generously because they know that circulation creates more circulation. They are not afraid to let money go because they trust in their ability to attract more. This confidence becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy as their generous spirit attracts opportunities and relationships that multiply their wealth. Many people block their abundance by refusing to give because they believe they don't have enough. This backwards thinking ensures continued lack because it perpetuates scarcity consciousness. The spiritual law requires you to give first and then receive. This is not about reckless spending or giving beyond your means, but about cultivating a generous spirit even with small amounts. The widow's mite was more valuable than the rich man's large donation because it demonstrated greater faith and proportion. I give freely and joyfully, knowing that my heavenly Father supplies all my needs. When you give with this consciousness, you are not depleting your resources. You are demonstrating your connection to infinite supply. Your giving becomes a form of prayer, an acknowledgement that you are blessed in order to be a blessing to others. The circulation principle also applies to your talents, skills, and knowledge. When you hoard your abilities out of fear of competition, you stagnate your own growth and limit your earning potential. When you freely share your expertise, teach others, and contribute your unique gifts to the world, you create multiple channels for abundance to flow back to you. The teacher always learns more than the student, and the giver always receives more than the recipient. Consider how this principle transforms your relationship with money itself. Instead of viewing money as something to accumulate and protect, you begin to see it as a tool for blessing others and creating positive impact in the world. This shift in consciousness naturally attracts more money because you become a worthy steward of greater abundance. The universe trusts those who use their blessings for the highest good of all. The fifth divine principle addresses one of the greatest challenges in wealth manifestation: divine timing and the art of expectant reception. Florence Scovel Shinn emphasized that there is a perfect time for everything under heaven, and that our demonstrations often come at the 11th hour when our faith has been fully developed. Understanding this principle prevents discouragement and maintains the consciousness necessary for successful manifestation. Divine timing operates from wisdom that transcends human understanding. What appears as delay from the earthly perspective is often preparation from the spiritual perspective. The universe orchestrates countless details to ensure that your good comes in the perfect way, at the perfect time, for the perfect result. Premature manifestation might actually limit your ultimate blessing, while patient expectancy allows for the full flowering of divine plan. This does not mean passive waiting or resigned acceptance of delay. True expectant reception is an active, dynamic state of consciousness that maintains steady faith while remaining alert to divine promptings and opportunities. It combines patience with preparedness, trust with action, surrender with readiness. Like a woman expecting a baby, you know the birth will happen and you prepare accordingly, even though the exact timing remains in divine hands. My demonstration comes at the right time, in the right way, through the right people. This affirmation aligns you with divine timing rather than fighting against it. When you try to force manifestation according to your human timeline, you often create interference that actually delays your good. When you surrender the timing to infinite intelligence while maintaining expectant faith, you allow divine orchestration to work on your behalf. The wealthy demonstrate this principle through their long-term thinking and patient investment strategies. They understand that true wealth often requires time to develop, and they are willing to plant seeds today that will bear fruit in future seasons. They do not panic during temporary setbacks or abandon their vision during periods of apparent delay. Their sustained faith and consistent action eventually produce the success they envisioned. Expectant reception also requires you to prepare for your good even before it appears. If you are seeking financial increase, prepare your consciousness and your practical systems to handle greater abundance. Organize your finances, educate yourself about investment and stewardship, and cultivate the habits that wealthy people maintain. This preparation demonstrates faith to your subconscious mind and creates readiness for rapid manifestation when divine timing aligns. I am now ready to receive all the wealth that God has prepared for me. This declaration creates internal alignment with your desired manifestation. Many people unconsciously resist their good because they don't feel worthy or ready to receive it. They pray for abundance while harboring beliefs that they couldn't handle great wealth, don't deserve extraordinary success, or would somehow be corrupted by financial freedom. These internal conflicts create resistance that delays or prevents manifestation. The art of expectant reception includes living in the feeling of having already received your desired good. This is not pretense or denial, but dwelling mentally and emotionally in the reality of your answer. When you truly expect something, you act accordingly. If you expected an important visitor, you would clean your home, prepare refreshments, and watch for their arrival. Apply the same expectancy to your financial demonstrations. Divine timing also protects you from receiving your good before you have developed the consciousness to maintain it. Many lottery winners lose their money because they received wealth without developing wealth consciousness. The universe's apparent delay in answering your prayer may actually be allowing time for your character, wisdom, and stewardship abilities to develop so that your manifestation will be permanent rather than temporary. The sixth and final divine principle encompasses the complete transformation of identity from lack consciousness to wealth consciousness, from human limitation to divine abundance. This is not merely changing your thoughts about money. This is recognizing and embodying your true nature as an expression of infinite abundance. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that you cannot demonstrate consistently beyond your concept of yourself, making identity transformation the foundation of all lasting manifestation. Your divine self knows no lack, experiences no limitation, and operates from infinite resources. This is not a future state to achieve, but your present reality to recognize and embody. The illusion of separation from abundance is maintained only by false identification with temporary conditions rather than eternal truth. When you consistently live from the consciousness of your divine identity, wealth becomes the natural expression of your being rather than something external to acquire. This transformation requires continuous choice between two interpretations of reality: the appearance world of limitation and the spiritual reality of abundance. Every moment presents opportunities to choose which voice you will listen to and which nature you will express. The appearance world shows you bills, debts, and material challenges. The spiritual reality reveals infinite supply, unlimited potential, and divine inheritance. Your consistent choice determines your experience. I am the rich child of a loving Father, and I now accept my divine inheritance of perfect abundance. This affirmation establishes your true identity and sets the foundation for all other spiritual work. When you truly know yourself as divine heir to infinite riches, temporary financial challenges lose their power to disturb your peace or shake your faith. You understand that present conditions are simply the outpicturing of past consciousness, while your current identity work creates future reality. Living as your divine self in wealth consciousness means making decisions from abundance rather than scarcity. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" you ask, "Is this aligned with my highest good?" Instead of choosing based on current bank balances, you choose based on eternal principles. Instead of operating from fear of loss, you operate from expectancy of increase. This shift in decision-making criteria automatically attracts different results. The divine self also gives effortlessly because it knows itself as connected to infinite supply. It invests boldly because it understands spiritual laws of multiplication. It spends with appreciation rather than anxiety because it recognizes money as crystallized divine substance. It saves wisely because it knows itself as a steward of universal abundance. Every financial action becomes an expression of spiritual understanding rather than material limitation. This consciousness also transforms your relationship with work and earning. Instead of selling your time for money, you begin to see yourself as a channel through which divine intelligence expresses unique value in the world. Your work becomes a form of service, a way of blessing others with your divine gifts. This shift naturally increases your earning potential because you offer value from consciousness of abundance rather than from desperation or limitation. Every dollar that comes to me is blessed and multiplied for the highest good of all concerned. This consciousness sanctifies money and removes any spiritual conflict about wealth creation. When you understand that your abundance blesses everyone around you and contributes to the prosperity of the whole world, you can pursue wealth with spiritual integrity and divine purpose. The journey through these 7 divine principles culminates in this recognition. You are not a human being trying to become abundant. You are abundance itself, expressing through human form. Your wealth is not separate from your spirituality. Your wealth is the natural expression of your divine nature when unobstructed by false beliefs. The frequency of wealth is not something you must attain. It is something you must remember and embody. As you continue to live from these principles, you will find that abundance flows to you in ways that exceed your human imagination. The divine mind that created the universe delights in expressing its infinite creativity through your individual experience. Your only responsibility is to maintain the consciousness of your divine identity and allow infinite intelligence to manifest its perfect plan of abundance through you. The 7 divine principles are not merely techniques for wealth creation. They are pathways to remembering and expressing your true nature as a being of infinite abundance, expressing in perfect harmony with divine law.